let's take up some of these. So for example, number 2e, I have a equal pi r squared. All right. I want to solve for r. So that means I have to move away that pi, and I have to move away the square. Which one do I undo first? Which one should I move away first, the pi or the square? Armin, is your hand up? Yeah?
Square.
Okay, and Adihi? Pi? Okay, so it was one or the other. So, why pi before? Remember when we're solving, this was the very first lesson that we talked about when we started algebra. When you're solving, you're actually doing math backwards, semdep, okay? So that's how you know you should do the multiplication division first. So we should divide it first, and when we divide, we'll get a over pi, and then the exponent. So when what's the opposite of square? Square root, right? So then that's your answer. Okay, it looks very weird, but that is the correct answer. You're not going to get a number for your answer because you're just rearranging. Alright, so make sure you're paying attention, especially those who didn't finish their homework. I'm looking at some people. Okay, Aisha? 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 Yeah. Alright, so if you can't hear me calling on you, that means it's too loud. Okay. Another one that I want to take up. You guys choose. You guys choose one from here. Which one do you want me to do? I just did 2e. Okay, which other one? Yep. 2b. Okay, good one. Okay, so for 2b, it's p equal 2l plus 2w. And you're trying to solve for w. Okay. How many terms do you see right here? Yep. Two terms. So when we move it, we move this whole term together. Okay. So the adding and subtracting first. So adding and subtracting. So that means I'm moving the whole 2l over because this is all one term. Okay. When I move it, I'm going to subtract because this is adding. So p minus 2l equals 2w. Okay. I still want the w by itself, so what do I do with that too? What should I do with this too? Armin, you want to give it a try? Divide it, perfect. Okay. So p minus 2l over 2 equals w. Okay. You don't have to simplify it. You could rewrite it as p over 2 minus l, but if you just leave it like this, it's fine. Okay. So again, these two questions are very possible on the test. Okay, any of these ones right here. Okay. Number 6 on the back. So we're taking up homework right now. So these ones you should have all attempted. Okay. Number 6. Can somebody read the question for me? Badar.
Locke is a hotel manager. His responsibilities include renting rooms for conferences. The hotel charges $250 per day plus $50 per person for the grand ball.
Okay, and then thank you. A, create a formula that represents the cost in dollars of renting the ballroom to the number of people and for the day. Okay, so right here, I don't like how they worded the question. They put $250 per day and $15 per person. So when I taught you guys, I told you guys the key was look for the word per. So when you have that per, you know that that means the n or x or your variable. But there's 2 per right here. So I would just ignore this per day because it's just you're renting the room. You're renting the room, it costs the $250. Okay. So when we write the equation for it, the first one, Okay, C equals 15n plus 250. Okay, right, Nicholas? Okay, let's focus. So if nobody goes to his wedding, after he booked it, he realized he had no friends, and then so nobody shows up. How much does he still have to pay? Yeah.
Oh wait, 15.
250.
Alright, is it the 15 or 250?
250.
250 for the rental. Alright, this is $15 per person. So no matter what, you still have to pay that 250. This is kind of like your flat rate, your rental fee.
Does he have to pay for himself, or is he already paying for the hotel room?
Sorry, say that
Like,
again?
is it 15, like, since it's per person, does he have to pay the 15 for himself too? Or
No, for his guests. Yeah,
I was gonna ask that.
yeah. Okay, usually they don't charge the bride and the groom, but to rent the room itself, it's the 250, and then $15 per person. Yep.
What about the person that's married?
No, it's a discount. So it's $15 per guest. Alright, so and we use C and N because they tell us to use C and N instead of X and Y. Okay. Part B says, oh, Kwok does have friends. So he actually has 50 friends to attend his wedding. Where do I put in the 50? Yep,
for N?
for N, because that's what you said. N represents the number of guests. Okay, so put in 50 in here. Whenever I do substitution, what do I need to put in around that number?
Brackets.
Brackets. Why brackets?
Because it needs multiplication without
Excellent.
writing the X, which can be confused for a variable.
Excellent. The brackets represent multiplication. So on your calculator, you're simply doing 15 times 50 plus 250, and you get $1,000. Don't forget units. Okay? Otherwise, half a mark off. Alright. You could very well see this on the test on Tuesday, and also we'll do a lot of this type of word problems as well in the next chapter. Alright. And then it says to rearrange it. Part C says to rearrange your equation to express n in terms of c. So what am I solving for? Express n in terms of c. Sounds so confusing. Solving for n. You just want to rearrange it so that it's n equal. So express n means n equal. Okay, so looking at this, what should I move away first? Should I move away to 15 or should I move away to 250? 250 because it's adding and subtracting. So move away that 250 and then divide by 15. Okay, and then this is okay, and then I get this answer. Remember, you're dividing 15 to everything. So I have it everything over 15. Okay. So this, why might somebody want to rearrange it? So for part A, my equation was for the cost, and then for part C, my equation was for the number of guests. So why might people rearrange it and set it as n equal? What's the point in rearranging an equation? Hi. Yeah, definitely. Why do I want to rearrange the equation to set it as n equal? Jenny?
You want to know the amount of people?
Sorry?
You want to know the amount of people?
Amount of people given what?
Like you have the cost, but you don't have the people.
Right, you have the cost. So a lot of times when people host weddings, they have a budget. So this will make them stay within their budget. Okay. Just like in part D, it says they have how much? $4,000. $4,000 budget. So I can sub it into the equation right here. 4,000 minus 250 divided by 15. Okay. One common mistake that people do. Okay, so 4,000 minus 250 divided by 15. Alright, that's exactly what it reads. What's wrong with this? How I typed it into the calculator. 4,000 minus 250 divided by 15. You read?
The calculator will think that you're gonna do 250 divided by 15 like this.
Right, your calculator does bad math. So it's not wrong, but it doesn't know that it's written like this. So what you have to, if you do this, you're gonna get this as the answer. But if you, so to avoid that confusion, do that numerator first, equal, and then divide it by 15. And then you'll get 250. What's my unit? Yeah. People. So not dollar. Okay, a lot of people write $250 to have a budget of 4,000. Doesn't make sense. Right? Remember, N represents the number of people. So 250 people can attend his wedding. Okay? So be very careful with how you do it on the calculator. That is a common mistake that people do. Okay, and then the last part asks if this was a linear or nonlinear relation. You won't see this on the test on Tuesday, but this is exactly the topic that we're gonna talk about in the next chapter. So next week we're gonna do linear relations. Okay, so do you think this is a linear or nonlinear? Those who say linear. Okay, those who say this is a nonlinear example. Those who have no idea. Okay, good. At least you guys were not ignoring me. It is linear. Okay, how do you know it's linear? Because what happens as the number of people increase by 1? What happens to the cost? As the number of people increase by 1, what happens to the cost?
It increases
By how much?
$15.
Perfect. So it's consistent, basically. So if one person attends, it's if nobody attends, it's 250. One person attend, it's 265. 2 people attend, it's 280. 3 people is 295, 4 people 305, and so forth. So it's consistent. Whenever you have a consistent pattern, it means it's linear. Okay, and we'll talk more about that next week. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of the next chapter. Okay. So anything from here to here, so part A, B, C, and D, this is fair game for next Tuesday's test. Okay, so make sure you can do something like this. All right. Okay. From the asynchronous work yesterday, so I gave you guys this review. Somebody was asking about 6B. Yeah, so 6B is ugly. Okay, it looks very ugly. You're solving for x. Alright, so 6B from yesterday's asynchronous work. You're solving for x. So which means I have to move away. So this is your equal sign. Your equal sign. Okay, I want x by itself on one side, which means I have to move away the 6a, and I have to move away the negative b. Okay, what happens when I move away the 6a? Yeah, minus 6a. So what's 8a minus 6a? 2a. Good. Okay, what happens to that minus b when I move it? Minus b becomes positive b. So b plus b is b plus b? 2b. To be or not to be? Alright. And then the minus c, did I do anything with it?
No.
No, so it stays. Okay. And then what's left on this side is the negative x. On your last test, you were asked this question. What's the coefficient in front of the x? The coefficient in front of the x, what's the number there? -1. So if it was like -3x, you knew to divide by -3. So same thing. If this is -1, you'll divide everything by -1. Because I don't want negative x equal. I want x equal only. Okay. So everything when you divide it by -1, it basically changes the sign. So 2a becomes -2a, 2b becomes -2b, and -c becomes +c. Sure. Did you move the negative x over to the other side?
That's what I got, but,
Yeah, it's fine then.
wait, okay, but like,
You gotta.
for the answer sheet thing, you didn't put C.
Oh, I guess I forgot. See the careless mistake that people always talk about. If you didn't do anything with that -c, it doesn't disappear. It's still there. But in my answer key, I forgot it. It disappeared on me. Okay. All good. Okay, so it looks confusing, but solving for a different variable, you're not gonna get just one number as your answer. Okay, the other one I wanted to do, 7E. 7E from the homework. Okay, right here. Okay, 7E, this one. Okay, I have a denominator of 2, denominator of 3, denominator 8, denominator of 2. So what's my first step in solving that? Yeah.
Maybe like find the LCM, so like 24.
Yeah, perfect. So find the lowest common denominator. So I don't think they heard you. What's my lowest common denominator between 2, 3, and 8? Adrian? 24, excellent. So that means I'm going to multiply each of the terms by 24. Okay. On your calculator. On your calculator, you'll do 3 times 24 divided by 2. You get 36. So 36x. 4 times 24 divided by 3. You get 32. 5 times 24 divided by 8. You get 15. And then 5 times 24 divided by 2. You get 60. Okay? If you don't get a whole integer, it means you made a mistake with your lowest common denominator. When you multiply this using this trick, you should always end up with a nice integer equation. Okay? And then now it's just a normal question when you move the 15x to one side, move the 32 to the other, and then you can divide. That's 21. So you get 28 over 21. Is this a good final answer, 28 over 21? Okay, and then I can reduce it to 28 over 21. If you reduce the fraction, it becomes 1 and 1 over 3, or in 4 over 3. Good job. Okay, make sure you always reduce if it's reducible. Alright. Will you see a question like this on the test? Yes. Alright, one where you have to do lowest common denominator. Okay. It's doable, very doable. Okay, and then the last one I want to go over an inequality question. Let's say number 16D. 16D, inequality. Okay. 5.2 minus y is less than negative 5.5. What do I move away first? I want y by itself, so I have to move away something.
5.2 to the right.
Right, 5.2, move it to the right, and it becomes minus 5.2. Alright, so negative 5, on the calculator, this is how you would put it. Alright, so negative 5.5, you do the negative symbol, 5.5, and then minus 5.2, so you do minus 5.2 like this. Alright, and you'll get negative 10.7. Okay, I don't want negative y, I want just y, so what do I do? How do I move away that negative sign? Yep.
Flip it around.
Okay, I do flip the sign. Okay, but what is that negative? What number is this negative again?
-1.
-1, just like the last example. So when I divide everything by -1, I get 10.7. And as Armin said, I have to flip the sign because I divide by a negative. Okay, so in terms of my number line, I have 10.7. Should my arrow be pointing to the left or right? Okay, so who says point the arrow to the left on the number line? Okay, so this is like 0, you have 10.7. Who says to the left? Okay, who says point to the right? One person? 2 person? Okay, I see nodding, but I want to see that hand. Okay, good. Because when you read this out loud, you're saying y is greater than 10.7. So you know it's to the right. It's only greater, not equal to, so it's a hollow circle. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so I'm gonna get you guys to continue working on the package. Those who finished yesterday's review, you can move on to the practice tests on page 12. Those who were not done yesterday's asynchronous review, catch up on that. Alright, so by the weekend, you should have finished the whole package. Okay? Okay, so you're either working on the review or the practice test in the package. Thank you.